Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Choice and you're watching Choice TV. So today's video I wanted to get on here and talk about the issue with Whoopi Goldberg and the fact that she was a little bit out of touch and the fact that she's getting a lot of backlash right now because people are not happy with what she had to say recently on The View.
Apparently millennials and Gen Z have a much different view of the American dream than past generations. Data shows that soaring inflation, student debt, and limited room for advancement in the workplace has made them feel that milestones like affording a home, starting a family, excelling within the corporate structure are out of reach.
One kid is enough.
Yeah, well, but you know, listen, every generation comes and wants to do better than their parents did. Every generation. But I'm sorry, if you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house.
Oh, and don't mention 4 days. No, but
I feel for everybody that feels this, but I'm sorry. We busted our behinds. We had to bust our behinds because we didn't have the option of going back.
Y'all gave us the housing crisis, though. But
listen, we had all kinds of stuff.
No, it's true, but the one thing I'd say is millennials are statistically the first generation that's likely to do worse off than their parents. That's
you know what? That's what they said to us as well. Every generation is told you're going to do worse than your parents, and you know what? People pick it up and they do what they do, and they raise themselves, and this is what you got to do. It's called being a good citizen. It's going to be harder for you to get a house.
Whoopi, you literally get paid millions of dollars a year to sit on your literal fucking ass and talk shit with your girls. Your day job is what I do at 9 p.m. on a Friday once I finally finish all of my work and school duties, if I'm lucky, and I don't get paid to do it.
I'm sorry. If you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house.
Whoopi Goldberg, let me help you here. The real reason why many millennials cannot afford to have children or buy a home is because your generation effed up the economy and handed it to us on a not-so-silver platter. For an example, let's take 1993, the year I was born. A modest home that cost $100,000 in 1993 now costs a whopping $225,000. And no, wages have not kept up with that rate of inflation. So millennials are not lazy. In fact, they are having to work more hours than your generation did to afford basic housing. And the cost of childcare has nearly tripled since the 90s. So us millennials are up against a completely unfair economy and having to work harder to attain and maintain the American dream.
People were so pissed off, they even went as far as digging up her past of problematic behaviors and her problematic dating history.
Whoopi Goldberg tells Gen Z and millennials that the reason they can't afford housing is because they only want to work 4 hours a day. Coming from a millionaire, this is so out of touch. What's funny to me is that after these statements, the internet dug up her past. All right, we're coming in hot, higgity hot. I mean, remember when she used to date Ted Danson, and as you could see, he's doing that, and she's just smiling at him, just look like she's worshiping him as he's just mocking her heritage. I mean, I know her ancestors is rolling in the graves. We go coming in even hotter. Polanski was not guilty of rape, says Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, obviously, she is very problematic.
Personally, I haven't watched The View in many years. I don't understand why people still watch that shit. I don't know who the fuck is watching that shit. You know, personally, I checked out after the whole Raven-Symoné, Watermelon Drea situation.
Can we take back racist and say discriminatory? Because I think that's a better word.
Yes, it is a much better word.
That's a better word. And I am very discriminatory against words like the ones that they were saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Drea. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to hire you.
Really? That's not their fault. I would be such a
But I haven't checked for The View in a very long time. I don't know why people still watch that nonsense. But Whoopi Goldberg basically got a lot of backlash because she made it clear that this generation is lazy. First things first, there was a lot of good points in her statement, but I do feel like she's out of touch because, I mean, come on, Whoopi Goldberg. Let's be for real. You're rich. You're worth over $50 million. Let's be honest, you have been able to build a wealth for yourself for the past 35 years, and she's been rich and wealthy for a very long time. You know, There's been this big epidemic lately with a lot of rich people trying to tell regular folk how the fuck they should spend their money.
You only get in debt when you don't understand the breakdown of your finances. When you make money, split it in half. Create a fucking account, call it the tax account. Put half of that there, so as you make money, you always put this money in the tax account. I never got to worry of giving the government their money, because that money's over there. I'm never gonna touch that money, because it's not mine. So now off of my half, I'm gonna take another half. This half is going over here. This half is for my next real estate investment. I'm only living off a quarter of my financial gain.
Bitch, with what fucking money? And this is like for the average person, like, people will literally sit up here and be like, you gotta do this and put your money here. And, you know, no, put it in. Bitch, a lot of these people have fucking kids. A lot of these people that you're talking to have like 5, 10, 15 other people that they got to worry about and take care of. Some people are taking care of their parents. Some people got these crazy ass fucking rent increases within the past 3 years. Everybody rent went up. Your rent went up. This person's rent went up. The person behind you rent went up. Everybody's rent went up. So there's been this epidemic where a lot of rich and successful people are saying, see, no, you see, you can't get rich off of 9 to 5. You can't do this. It's like, bitch, how out of touch are you? You know what I mean? The average person can't just get on YouTube and be an influencer and make millions of dollars, or start a fucking podcast and make millions of dollars. It's just not realistic. So it really does suck having to hear rich and successful people who are like insanely famous tell people what the fuck they're doing wrong. Now, there is some truth to what a lot of these people say. And I will admit that some people do play victim. It does suck to hear her say, you can't work 4 hours.
If you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house.
Who the fuck is working 4 hours a day at work? Some people are literally working at least 8 hours, and some people are working 4 to 5 days a week. The problem with a lot of these jobs is they want you to go above and beyond. They want like 20 reference letters. They want you to fill out that long ass survey. Y'all know that long ass survey where they're like, here, do a questionnaire. How would you feel if you saw Bobby Miranda crying in the corner one day? What would you do? I don't care about Bob and Miranda. I'm trying to get paid. I would walk right past them and ignore them. See, they want you to fill out these long-ass surveys. They want you to fill out this questionnaire. They want you to say, oh, your answers won't affect whether or not you got hired. You do the questionnaire, then in 2-3 days, you get told, oh, based on your questionnaire, you didn't get the job. And it's like, what the hell did I get wrong? I thought these were my opinions. So it's just little stuff like that that people don't understand. There's a lot of adversities. A lot of these jobs will say, we're hiring. But what they really mean is, we're hiring, but it depends on your experience level. It depends if you have a college education, because we also want to hire people who are in college because we feel bad. But if you do have a college education, we also want some reference letters. And if you do have some reference letters, we also want at least 5 to 6 years of experience. If you have 5-6 years experience, we also want you to work for shit pay for about 6 days a week. And we also want you to do some overtime. And we also want you to attend meetings where we're not going to pay you that much, but still attend the meetings. Oh, and also, we want you to know that you're going to be dealing with a toxic work environment, and that all of us are fake, gossipy, and that a lot of us will do anything we can to throw you under the bus so that way we can get rid of you and we can hire somebody else that we personally know. That's what a lot of these jobs are doing. They're not necessarily hiring, and they're also not paying. Who the hell is going to sit up here and stack up hella boxes for $12 an hour? Who is going to sit up here and wash all these things and wash test tubes and go through this, or stand on their feet folding clothes all day, listening to freaking Forever 21 music, to not be compensated for their time and to not get insurance? And then to be told, if we catch someone stealing and you let them get away, we're going to deduct it from your pay. Like, these jobs aren't hiring. And then you're having to compete with so many freaking people at that. You know, you're having to compete with people who are, for one, 50, 60 years old, who literally have been at the same position at that same job for 35 years. And because they refuse to retire because of how expensive things are getting, you're still having to compete with granny and granddaddy who are in their 70s and won't retire. So the new generation of people in their 20s and 30s who went to college and are trying to get a decent job can't get no freaking, they can't get no freaking promotion. They can't get this job. So that's why it's insulting and insensitive for rich people who are super successful and super rich and famous to tell all these people, well, you're not doing enough. Well, you should do a little more. And forgive me, I do feel as though that Whoopi Goldberg did have good intentions. She was basically saying that there's a lot of entitled people. And I'm going to piggyback off that real quick. But Whoopi Goldberg doesn't remember how badly she struggled. Whoopi Goldberg remembers how much she struggled, but I don't think she really remembers how bad she had it. I'm gonna be real. Whoopi Goldberg, she had the right message, but she's also very out of touch because Whoopi Goldberg, if y'all didn't know, she came from nothing. Whoopi Goldberg came from a mother who was on welfare. Whoopi Goldberg was a junkie and a heroin addict, and she also dropped out of high school. She had her daughter very young back in the early 70s, and she comes from nothing. So Whoopi Goldberg built her legacy. She grew up in the era of Jim Crow, redlining, and she definitely has seen a lot in this lifetime. She has had a lot of adversities, and she does have a point. She said that she had to bust her ass to get to where she is. She is a dark-skinned black woman who tried to make it in Hollywood during the era of racism, segregation, and when there weren't that many roles for women that looked like her, and she managed to succeed, prevail, and be a stellar actress. There's so many people who are now sex workers, and yes, a lot of people who you wouldn't even expect are doing sex workers. Hell, Rachel Dolezal recently got blasted for having an OnlyFans and doing X work. A lot of people's incomes are drying up. Not just your favorite celebrities, but a lot of normal people. If I were to tell all y'all watching right now, what would you do if your current source of income dried out for at least 1 month? If your current income that you had wasn't sustainable or useful in 1 month, what would you do? A lot of people, because of how hard things are getting, don't even have at least a month's worth of rent to cover their rent. So if a month were to go by, a lot of anyone wouldn't be able to pay all their bills. Car note, their kids' preschool, their kids' boarding school, pay for their insurance, pay for their housing insurance, pay for their mortgage insurance, pay for this. A lot of people are having to use a bulk of their income to sustain a decent and happy life. And a lot of these jobs are out here just firing people left and right. Everybody wants to do all these type of things. Everybody's looking to change careers. I know so many people who've been working in the beauty field or the tech field, and they're looking to switch careers. I got motherfuckers who work in tech who are saying, how do I get into social media? How do you do all that stuff? I have fucking accountants that I know saying, how do you do like this with social media? How do you like monetize this with social media? It's like, bitch, ain't you in tech? Ain't you in accounting? That's a good hustle. And I get you can never have too much money. But again, with the way things are going and everyone trying to buy a house, it's not going to be realistic. You won't get you a decent house unless you're willing to cough up at least $500,000 US. And that's if you live in a medium-sized city. These 9-to-5 jobs, this clocking in, clocking out, it's not working. It's trying to climb this whole corporate ladder and yeah, well, at least my job is okay. At least I'm comfortable. How comfortable is your job if they're not going to compensate you for all this time, energy, and effort? It's so bad to the point where people are having to take all their work from work and bring it at home. You having to check emails and go to meetings on Zoom or have long-ass meetings and check emails and all that stuff. And you have to deal with Karens at work just to not even get paid and compensated for your time, just for them to expect you to give a 2-week notice and train your replacement when they can just fire you on the spot. Things have changed. And I do think this generation is the generation that's not settling. But I also have to sometimes look at the things that Whoopi Goldberg is saying when she says, a lot of people are entitled and need to work. She made it clear that she had her adversities, and no matter what, she worked through them. And guess what? Her adversities were much harder than any of our adversities, or probably just as hard. She endured a lot of racial discrimination trying to come up as a dark-skinned black woman, and a dark-skinned black woman with locks at that in the entertainment industry. And then she also had to come up during Jim Crow. And then also, she was a junkie. So let's be real for a second. Whoopi Goldberg definitely has a lot to say when she says that a lot of people can adapt to their environment. That's just what the world is like. You have to adapt. Yes, a lot of these jobs aren't hiring, but there's still things you can do. Part of the reason why a lot of people aren't able to elevate in their career field people keep doing the same thing they were doing 2 years ago is because a lot of y'all don't realize one thing you need to do, and that's networking. Networking is one of the most important things you can do. Ask anyone that works in tech, ask anyone that works as a lawyer, ask anyone that works in any big name industry. You need relationships if you want to keep building your income. You have to build relationships. It's all about who knows you and who you know. You can literally go to university and guess what? Ain't no one gonna give you a job. So who gonna give you a job? Yeah, you got that degree, but who's gonna give you a job? In most cases, you'll get lucky and you'll be blessed if you work hard enough and apply at enough places and you apply at a reasonable city where there's not much competition. But if you live in a big city and you're trying to apply for a job and you just finished university like 2 years ago or a year ago, you are not going to get a job that easily, because guess what? That job you're trying to get as a nurse or a doctor or work as a physician or work as a pharmacist, they're going to say, okay, cool. So what have you done in the past 2 years? Oh, well, I just graduated college. Hell no, they're not going to hire you. Why would they hire you when they could hire someone who's been doing it for like 7 years and just got unemployed in the last state they were living in? Why would they hire you? You know what I mean? And that sucks, because a lot of people got sold this dream that, oh yeah, I went to university and I got this and that. You went to university and you didn't get much out of it. A lot of people aren't getting much out of going to university. You got all these student loans. You're trying to find a job so you can take care of all these student loans, and you think it was all worth it in the end. For some people, they become blessed enough to take care of themselves and also take care of their loans, but the average person, unfortunately, doesn't have that luxury. The average person has to network. You need to build friendships with people. You need to build genuine relationships. That's so important. A lot of y'all will say, oh, well, I don't have no friends. All I care about is money and going home. And that's why your ass ain't got no fucking friends, because all you care about is money and going home. You need to build friends that are genuine, because when you have genuine friendships, you can actually ask them like, hey, may I have a recommendation letter? May I use you as a reference? And a lot of them are willing to do that. Some of y'all will sit up here and say, oh, I don't really know people like that. I don't really have that many friends. And yeah, of course, a lot of the friends you did have, all you did was drink with them, hook up with them, and just have them in your life, just to have them in your life because you've known them for so many years. You don't have any friends that are like successful and are actually going to help you out or actually encourage you and uplift you. Instead, you're that friend that did that for everybody else. People need to learn how to wake up and utilize the time that we have now, because we can complain all we want about life being hard, money ain't moneying no more, but you are missing out if you're not going out there. People will be like, oh, well, but how can I network? How can I make new friends? Hello, TikTok. There's always all these networking events you can go on at TikTok to meet new people and collaborate. So even though I'm grilling Whoopi Goldberg, I have to grill some of y'all and say, there's a lot of opportunities everywhere. You just have to create them. Even if you're not trying to be an entrepreneur, listen to what Ashton Kutcher said. Ashton Kutcher said every job takes you to your next job. And he's right. Every job takes you to your next job, because every job you make is supposed to be for networking, collaborating, connecting with new people. Even if your current job don't work out, you can still make a relationship with other people and say, hey, I know you used to work for this company with me. I know you moved. Is there any chance that you can hook me up with a job? May I use you as a reference? And they'll be like, hell yeah, I'll get you in. I know you. I can vouch for you. And people are more likely to hire you when someone's able to vouch for you. How many people are out there right now going to networking events in your city that are probably doing really well for themselves, that if you were cool with them and they liked you and y'all genuinely vibe, they would tell you, oh, I got you. You can use me as a reference. I have friends where if I ever wanted to kind of dip out and not use social media, not pour into my brand anymore, I got friends who have literally told me, oh yeah, I work for this company. You can literally use me as a reference. You can't keep relying on these corporate companies and these corporate jobs to hire you, because you want to know something? The minute they don't like you no more, the minute the kisser-upper or the goody-two-shoes wants to snitch on you and try to plot and plan and have everybody go against you, that is when they will get rid of your ass in a heartbeat. And guess what? You'll have no employment. You need to make sure that you go out of your way to use all the time that's presented in front of you. There's so many resources that this generation has. And Whoopi Goldberg says, yeah, we worked really, really hard. And she's right. She's right. She definitely busted her ass for every single thing she has. Whoopi Goldberg earned her wealth and her success. She's a self-made star and a self-made millionaire. Pay wasn't that good back then either. So use all the time that's given to you. There's social media, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's networking events being posted every single day in every single country that you live in right now. Go meet people, go collaborate, go build relationships, go build bonds, and you never know who's going to want to hire you. You might find the love of your life, you might find a really good relationship, or you might find somebody that might be willing to collaborate with you. Go somewhere that you know you would find your ideal people. Go to a real estate seminar if you're trying to get into real estate. If you're trying to build your brand in social media, entertainment, go to those events. Matter of fact, book a flight and go to a big city and go to those events in that major city. You just never know what opportunities will land in your lap. Stop being so fearful of success. This generation is entitled because a lot of people in this generation want things to come to them. Yes, Whoopi Goldberg may be out of touch, but there is a lot of entitlement. Because let me tell you something. There was a point in time where I used to work at a fast food joint, right? And there was a point in time where even though I hated the fast food joint and I hated working there, I was a grown adult looking for some extra income. I needed some way to take care of myself. I still had to have a roommate, and I just needed some means to support myself. So even though I didn't like the job per se, And I didn't like dealing with customers in the drive-thru and dirty, raggedy motherfuckers who complain about the food but still come back every single time. I still appreciated having a job because the one thing I always told myself was, oh, it's okay. I just need the experience. I just need skills. I just need customer service skills. I just need to build skills so that way I can eventually grow. And that's what happened. Everybody who wants to complain about like not having it like that, they're always so picky. When you were 16, 17, 18 years old and you had the opportunity to work, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm not working fast food. Oh, I'm not working real estate. Oh, I'm not working retail. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing no office job. I want to make 6 figures. Why? You don't have any fucking skills. Don't nobody fucking know who you are, bitch. Excuse my French, but don't nobody know who the fuck you are. Like, people are so quick to want to make 6 figures and shoot to stardom and success and make a YouTube channel and make millions of dollars, but don't nobody know who the fuck you are. You're not even putting no effort. You just want to you want to get there because the little white girl from fucking Pennsylvania did it, and you think you could do it too because the little white girl who comes from wealth and money and privilege and the little Asian guy who comes from all these rich ass parents were able to do it. You know, people want to compare themselves and say, well, I don't come from wealth and I don't come from a lot of money. You can be the change you want to see. You could be the wealth that you want to like see in yourself. So we can be mad at Whoopi Goldberg and call her out on her shit. So we can call Whoopi Goldberg out on her shit and hold a mirror in front of her face, but we also gotta hold a mirror in front of our faces as well. Because people are going out of their way trying to find Whoopi Goldberg's history, saying, oh, you dated a racist, and oh, but you're problematic, and oh, but what about what you said that was anti-sweet potato pie? Look what you said here, and look at all these times you got canceled. We're gonna cancel you again. Whoopi Goldberg may be an asshole, but she's not a liar. There is a lot of entitlement. She might have been doing too much with her whole 4-hour rant, but I saw where she was coming from. People are busting their ass 5 days a week at their work, stressed out, not getting any sleep, bags under their eyes, losing their hair, losing their minds, freaking in a toxic relationship because they don't want to pay the rent all by themselves. And Whoopi Goldberg wants to say, work harder. People are tired of working. You can work hard, but also work smart. So you can hate what Whoopi Goldberg has to say, but take a mental note and listen from someone who comes from all the shit she comes from. She's not an idiot. She's been through stuff in her life. And every generation goes through their own struggles. She went through chickenpox, the AIDS epidemic, they went through the freaking JFK situation. She literally went through the Bush's first presidency, and Bush was one of the most controversial presidents ever. She went through the Ronald Reagan era. Like, come on now. This is Whoopi Goldberg we're talking about. Look at yourself and see what you can do. If your income was literally paused for 1 month, what would you do? If you ain't have money for a month, what would your ass do if your main source of income stopped? Get your ass up. Go network, go make relationships, go meet new people, go travel, use your PTO, collaborate, build your resume, build some lucrative skills, do a 2-week course on Google and get a fucking certification in something. If you want to do massage therapy, do that shit. Add to your resume. Keep adding skills. Like, make yourself irreplaceable at your job, or use your skills and pour into yourself so that way you can create jobs. You can get mad at the rich all you want, but don't hate the player, hate the game. Take notes from them. Figure out what the fuck they did. A lot of these rich people, they have connections. Some of them weren't born into connections. Some of them built connections over time. Networking. That's the keyword of today's video. That's the word of the day. Networking. Not fake networking and being fake nice to people hoping they'll help you make money, but I'm talking about genuinely building good relations with people. But that's all I gotta say on that. I hope you guys can see where I'm coming from, and I hope a lot of people can also see that Whoopi Goldberg, she may be an asshole, but you still can't negate the message. But that was that for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Give your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch.
You will always be, I say, fire to the rain, watch it burn, I run away, in this turn, and I say, fire to the rain, watch it burn, I set fire to the rain. That's all y'all get for free, and I don't even know the lyrics. Y'all have a good one.